So, hi, good afternoon, Atulya.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
So, how was your day?
It was good. How was yours?
Yeah, we're having good time. So just tell us something about yourself.
I think most of I had submitted an SOP for I am Vishakhapatnam, and you'd have got most of the details from there. But to reiterate certain things, I would say that my name is Atulya, and I have done things to resonate with whatever my name stands for because it means unique in Sanskrit. So being a topper from class 10 and class 12, I continued this pre till in my undergraduation as well, where I took a BSc in psychology. And if you check into my academics, I have been a school topper in class 10 and class 12 with a cent percentage in mathematics. And my academic performance has allowed me to become part of an elite cohort of students in Women's Christian College. And I've chosen the stream of psychology, a science that is in the humanities stream for my undergraduation. So in my undergraduation course, again, I was one of the top 10 percentile in my class and a member of this exclusive project component, where apart from my studies and normal paper pen courses, I took up two internships, one research component and a practical experience in the form of community service. And I would confidently say that I have taken academic related matters with a very promising attitude and also produce the best results in them, irrespective of the streams that I've chosen. So, along with the distinctive academic profile, I've also held certain PORs throughout my undergraduation, and some of them include being a person of responsibility in the entrepreneurship cell and also the Rotaract Club. And these have created certain interest in me in the terms of people management and leadership. And along with these, I have also explored a lot of internships in terms of marketing, especially digital marketing and social media marketing, as well as human resources during my undergraduation, to understand how an organization functions and how I would be the right person. And if you see, this is what even the Holland's theory of job personality fit says you have to explore. So I started the exploration phase as a very early phase to find out that marketing, especially the back end where the analytics is involved, where the content creation and how the A/B testing, that part is involved, is where I'm very interested in. And apart from that, I'm also a graphic designer, and I also excel in the space of user experience design and prototype design. And I've also created a lot of course material and content for both special children and gifted children for organizations that are academically oriented and educational research purpose based. So these are some of my the explorations that I've done in my undergraduation. So being a fresher, I don't have work experience, but I think I've compensated it with enough internships during my undergraduation. And also be influenced by a lot of discussion with my father, who was an HR leader at that time. I understand that
Atulya, you can
people
cut
manage.
it short. You are going very long.
Okay, yeah, so we'll just proceed to our next question. So,
Okay.
as you talked about your various PO positions of responsibilities that you held during your college, so what are some
Mhm.
of the key learnings that you see them as you will also be a future manager? So, what learnings do you see from them?
So one is of course the people management, because I have held the position of secretary and president of the entrepreneurship cell for 2 consecutive years, and I was the professional services director of the Rotaract Club in my undergraduation. Hence, I would say that these have enabled me to manage a team as a whole of almost 20 to 30, 25 office bearers under me, where we held several events. So that is one. Number two is networking. I had to go out of my way to, network with industry experts, either to bring them for workshops or to bring them for industry specific talks in the college with very minimal financial funds. So the third would, consecutively lead to budgeting and planning. So we had a very less fund for the club because we were a secondary club. So we were not allowed to pay honorariums to the speakers and the industry experts who came. So budgeting and planning, especially pitching in the right way so that they would be interested to come to the organization, is one to come to the institution, is one thing that I learned.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. So, then But why do you think an MBA is the right step after your graduation in psychology?
Okay. If you see, I feel I am one of, I would say that I am the right fit for an MBA, and I would say that with a pure conviction because I compared the subjects that are there on the IMB website and my course curriculum, and I feel a strong sense of similarity between them as well as my future goals in terms of marketing and people management. And if you see management, and we are nothing but masters of business administration, is nothing but people management, which involves influencing people and persuading them to act in a way that you want them to, which is what psychology has taught me to. If you see marketing, it is nothing but social psychology and sociology at the end of the day, which were two of my favorite subjects in undergraduation, and I've topped those papers as well. And apart from that, one of the thing is economics. We have Richard Taylor coming in with the Nobel Prize in behavioral economics, which has again brought us back to psychology as part of other sciences as well. So there is a strong connection between what I have done and what I have planned to do in the MBA course, and hence I feel I would be a right fit for this course.
Okay, but my last question for today would be from your answers and your SOP, I could see there is a special interest of yours towards marketing. But this curriculum of MBA that I can tell you that you'll be going after if you get the admission here is mostly, it has subjects focusing on finance and statistics. But since you are lacking a background in commerce and mathematics, so do you think you will be able to handle these subjects in the future?
So one thing is I don't have a background in commerce. I have a background in computer science, and I did score a cent% in mathematics in class 12. So I don't think mathematics would be a problem to me. And the second thing is so as part of the research in psychology, we did a paper on both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics in my undergraduation. So I think statistics again won't be a problem because I have covered up most of the problems, and I've also as part of the project component that I mentioned at the beginning, I have covered, working on a research survey. Finance is the only part that is unexplored, but I think the basic concepts would only be the core papers, and the rest would be electives, if I'm not wrong, and hence I would be able to combat them easily.
Yeah, so hi Atulya.
Hello.
So my question to you is like you have done internship with in social media marketing, right?
Yes.
So what do you think are the key factors that you would take in mind while launching a new product in the market?
So one of the key factors, I've done internships in content creation and graphic designing. I've not really explored the space of product development and launch. So I
Okay.
feel my answer would be a little guess based rather than the proper, one. Should I still go for it?
Okay, you can try it once.
Okay, so the first one would be, of course, the target audience and what the gaps between what is there in the current product and what the audience want and the consumer needs as well. And apart from that, how the company can manufacture it. So I think these would be the two main key elements.
You can actually relate it to your experience as a social media marketing intern. So, like, don't you think there would be major other factors that you should keep in mind while launching a new product? Maybe it any other campaign that you might have run during your internship period. What,
So again,
like, in
I
campaigns, what do you think? Like, what are the major factors one should take in mind?
I haven't really ran campaigns. That's what I'm saying. So I have
So,
been in
what
the
was
space
your
of
social
content.
media marketing intern? Basically, what did you do in your internship?
So I was part of the content curation team. So we did keyword analysis and the whole back end of the part where we did content calendar creation, graphic designing. So I was more on the designers and content creation part. So the outreach part was what I was involved in. So, I would be called in the final leg of the campaign, basically, not during the construction.
Okay, so what I can see in your resume, these are the two separate internship you mentioned in your resume. So I thought of asking this as a question to you. So you have mentioned that you have worked as a design and content development intern in Kaveri Gifted Education, somewhat like that. And the other one you did was in 5 Minutes Farmers.
Yes.
That one was a digital marketing intern.
Yes.
So basically that was also related to some backend part.
So again, I did their content creation and curation. They had their products. They had a very specific goal for me. I wrote their blog post.
What kind of products they had?
So they were a B2C company that worked in the space of grocery delivering. So they delivered groceries so they procured groceries from farmers and delivered it to the customer. So it was basically an online grocery store, like how you see Big Basket. And
So
hence,
your job responsibility in that? Basically, I'm
sorry?
not getting what did you basically do?
So I was involved in the content publishing part, and I was also involved in the website management part.
Okay, got it. So, Atulya, have you read today's current headlines of any newspaper?
Not really, not really.
Don't you think, as a business student, you should read some of the news headlines?
I do, but I think I'm not a business student yet. Once I get into Visakhapatnam, I will.
Don't you think you might get a chance to pursue as a business student in IIM Visakhapatnam? Then,
True.
so getting updated with the news is a basic thing for this.
I agree, but I haven't read it yet. So
Okay, so you mentioned like in your PUR you handled certain kind of events. So what kind of events were those? Can you mention some of the events?
So one of the event was a global event called Rise, where there were a lot of entrepreneurs coming in, and we had to use our college campus to help them have a conference as a whole. It was a 2-day event, and apart from that, we also had various inter-college and intra-college events to promote business entrepreneurship skills among students. And also we had industry talks and business talks as well.
Okay, so like you mentioned, you coordinated the whole event with a minimal budget.
Yes.
So how did you pitch for that minimal budget to your college authorities, and how did they agree for that?
So one thing is we weren't actually allowed to like pitch. We were allocated fund, and that's all was the power given to us, and hence we were not really given the power to bargain or negotiate about the funds. So that's why I said minimal budget that was offered to us. So we had a minimal budget of around.
So you had no negotiated with the price, with the budget and all?
No, we weren't given a space to negotiate in the budget. So only if you have a forum can you negotiate, right? If it's set, then it's set.
Okay, so my last question for the day is, what are your short-term goals?
So my short-term goals would be to, first being a fresher, and I'm still pursuing my undergraduation now. So to, finish my undergraduation and also get the a BSc in psychology. And after that, my main short-term goal right now being a fresher would be to, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and stuff, my exams got postponed. So I had to finish that off. And then next would be to get into learning the managerial side of the psychology aspect that I studied in my undergraduation, because most of the my undergraduation comprised of research papers and a lot of scientific part. So now that I can understand what is going on as in the influencing people and marketing as a science, I would like to know the art behind it from a management course. So getting into a good B school in the country would be my second short-term goal. After that, if you had seen most of my internships, most of my experience would have been freelancing and part-time. So maybe getting into a more formal sector to work or experiment what I like would be my second short-term goal. And also to understand how my skills would be useful in a workspace.
Okay. Thank you, Atulya. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, so thank you, Atulya.
Thank you.
Let's discuss Atulya's feedback. So here are certain few points.
Yeah, so overall during the interview, there was one mistake that we saw was she was quite verbose at some times for her answers. For example, during her introduction, she took a lot of time. So my tip would be to keep your introduction to a little shorter, and maximum take a duration of 90 seconds.
So the second point would be, I asked her about certain roles and responsibilities in the internship period. So she was not clear with that. So the tip would be, whatever you have mentioned in your resume, you should be clear and crisp with your answers and whatever you mentioned in it.
And we could see she was not updated with the overall news and business news that is going in recently. So you should be updated with all the recent happenings in the world.
Fourth would be, I asked her about a short-term goal, so she was not clear with that too.
But overall, it was a good interview. She kept her smile throughout the interview, and her attitude was also decent. And yes, her subject knowledge was also at par. So yes, all the best to all the future aspirants.
Yeah.